Hi, this is Mrs. Knopf, and today we are going to continue in our new method book on the flute with line 16, Gently Sleep. So let's start at the beginning and see what we have. So as always, we have a treble clef at the beginning of the staff, and then we have our key signature. We have two flats, and they will always be the same two flats. We will always have a B flat first, which is located on the third line, and that tells us that any B that we come across in our music is going to be a B flat. So that's our first note is B flat. And then the second flat in our key signature is an E flat. That's located on the fourth space. And it tells us that any E that we would play would need to be an E flat. We don't have any E or E flats in this tune, but this key signature tells us that we are in the key of B flat. So that's good to know. Next, we have our time signature. We have 4/4 time. The top number tells us we have 4 beats in every measure, and then the bottom number gives us the value of the whole note if we had one. So let's work that out. If we had a whole note at 4 beats each, half of a whole note is a half note, half of 4 is 2. So our half notes will get 2 full beats, and then half of a half note is a quarter note, half of 2 is 1, so our quarter notes get 1 beat each. So now let's walk through what our notes are. We are only using B flat, C, and D. So our first note is B flat, thumb and 1, 1 and pinky, and that B flat is on the third line. Our next note is a C, so we take away the thumb, we take away the first finger, and all we have is 1 and pinky for C. And then we switch everything out for the D. So now we have all of our fingers down except our index finger. This pinky hasn't been used for anything yet, and we raise this pinky. Those are your 3 notes. We have B flat, C, D, and then we go back to the C, down to the B flat, and back to a C, and we hold it for 2. Then measure 3 is just like measure 1, B flat, C, D. And then measure 4, we go down to the C, up to the D, and skip to the B flat. So that's a little different. Measure 5 on the next line is just like measures 1 and 3, B flat, C, D. Measure 6 is just like measure 2, C, B flat, C. Measure 7 is just like 1, 3, and 5, B flat, C, D. And then the last measure is just like measure 4, C, D, B flat. So hopefully you have noticed that the entire first line is simply repeated in the second line. And we could have just written one line with a repeat sign, but the whole thing is written out for us. So let's go at the beginning of Gently Sleep and play all the way through. Here we go. Starting on B flat. 1, 2, ready. So a couple of things to think about. First of all, take a nice deep breath and make sure that you are using your air efficiently and that you're starting each note with a t sound. So big breath. And the next thing is when you're playing, your fingers will either hover above the key or cover. So they'll press the keys down that need to be pressed in order to play a certain note. So you don't want your fingers too far away from the key because your chances of missing that key when you need to play it will be greater if your fingers are far away. So keep your fingers close, hover or cover. I hope this has been helpful, and we'll see you next time.